So how did you get your start in the comic book business?
You know, I tried to get into comic books for a long time. But if you look at my style, like at the time when I was trying to get in, they weren't really interested in that kind of style, you know?
Yeah.
Like they had their house styles. But then if it wasn't a house style, well, they already had their Humberto Ramos, and they had their like Carlos Herreras and guys that would do anything that would be considered more cartoony. And so they weren't really, Marvel, DC, they weren't really in the business of experimenting with different cartoony styles. And so for a long time I would go to cons, and what would happen, I would get like the age-old like, oh man, we really like your stuff, but you know, we don't know what to do with it, you know? And that was kind of tough, but it never rocked my confidence. I never felt like it was. If the option was change your style or keep doing what you do, then I was going to keep doing what I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Stay true to you.
Yeah, because it wasn't about like, oh, the structuring of your characters is wrong, your understanding of anatomy is off. But it wasn't any of that stuff. It was style. It was all about like the style of the stuff that you do is just not what we're doing. So I was very adamant that like, okay, I need to figure out where I fit in. You know what I mean? And fortunately, I fit in with animation. You know what I mean? Like when I realized. When you're in Chicago, man, you don't realize what the industry is. You don't realize what the industry is like. And so I started talking to a lot of guys who were doing LaShawn Thomas, Phil Barraza, Emmy Award-winning designer of Young Justice, Joaquin Dos Santos, who's pretty much the Jesus of our industry. I mean, he's the guy, he's the talent that everyone's chasing. You know, he's the executive producer on Avatar Korra. He's just insane guys who were doing the thing in the style that I wanted to do. So when I found animation, I was just like, that's where I'm gonna grow. You know what I mean? And so I got hired by Warner Brothers Animation to come in-house and do storyboard revisions. And I felt at home, man. I was just like, this is it. So then of course after that happens, while that happens, there's just this influx of European influence on comic books. Lots of French guys, Olivier Coipel, and you look at Stuart Eminem, like there's just this huge influx of this different style. And that kind of, a lot of editors were then contacting me and going like, hey man, like the industry is kind of adjusted to whatever you're doing. And so that's where all the comic book offers started coming in. But at that point, I'm working in animation, I'm making a 6-figure salary, I got insurance benefits, I'm living a dream. I was just like, why would I dig back into comic books where they're not paying and the movies are where I'm aiming at anyway. So I still do comic stuff on my own, you know, stuff on the side, but for me, I just enjoy the freedom that I get to have in animation to jump in and out of comic books if I want to.
Yeah. So movies is where you want to go.
Movies is what I'm gonna eventually do. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm already. My brother and I are filming shorts and writing, and you know, we have some pretty fun connections and things going down right now. Nothing that you won't hear me talking about it. I don't talk about anything. I see a lot of these dudes, man. They get a tiny ass step in some direction, and they're like yelling about it on Instagram. I'm like, stop with that shit. Just do work. You know what I mean? Like, see something through before you get 100% satisfied by it. That's the old school that I'm of. I'm just like, if there's something I want to share, it'll be when it's done, and I get supported now.
I'm assuming you've been drawing since you can remember, right?
Wait, say again? Oh yeah, man. In the hood, it's like, it's crazy how in the hood drawing gets you this weird level of notoriety. Like, my brothers and I, man, that's all we did. We were video game, cartoon, and drawing nerds. And so when you're in the neighborhood that we grew up in, where fools are selling drugs and getting shot and shit, like, you're like, I want to go out there anyway. I want to stay in and do it.
Yeah.
And we just never stopped. We constantly influenced and encouraged each other and never stopped.
It's the same for everybody, you know what I mean? You get the crayons and
The difference between us artists that are doing it is just we never stop. You know what I mean?
So who would you say are your biggest influences, at least coming up?
Yeah. I was heavily influenced by any and everything graffiti. Like
I can see that, yeah.
yeah, I remember riding on the Red Line
L train in Chicago, and riding from the south side of Chicago to the north side of Chicago, there was just like just walls of graffiti, man. And like I remember seeing that stuff for the first time, and just like the colors, just the rhythm of everything. I just remember being like so in love with it, man. Urban hieroglyphics, that's all it was to me. It was just like these stories, you know what I mean? Because a lot of them were like on cemetery walls, and it was like the name of one of the homies that had died or something like that. And I was like, this is a story in that shit.
So I was crazy influenced by that stuff for a long time until I got arrested.
Oh no. So you were actually doing it too?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I fell hard into it, man. And then simultaneously and along with it
was comic books and animation, but comic books, Joe Madureira was, Joe Mad was everything.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It was Joe Mad everything. Because Joe Mad stuff came at the same time that I was like watching Ninja Scroll and Fist of the North Star and all this other stuff. And so he was a huge inspiration, and I mean he was like the primary, you know what I mean? Jamie Hewlett, who was the artist on all the Gorilla stuff.
Okay.
He was a huge. Also did Tank Girl. Jim Lee was a big one. Akira Toriyama, who's the designer on Dragon Ball and everything.
Yeah.
those guys really kind of like, that was the stuff that was everywhere. Getting into art, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, those were the big ones that are coming to mind right now.
And how about today? Like, are you looking at anybody?
LaShawn Thomas is a big one. A lot of Korean animators. There's a lot of Korean animators out there
That inspire my style.
I'm inspired by a lot of the French style of design and comicking now. Like, as I get older, I find that like I like way less details. I just want to see people take lines away, like pull away from all of the extra stuff. The less detail that's there that you can capture bigger stuff, the better for me.
Let your imagination fill in
It's
details.
It's a craft. You know
That's
what I mean?
true art, yeah. I hear you.
So yeah, that style is something that I definitely am inspired by.
Like you were never unmotivated. You were never hit a brick wall.
I was never really dissuaded from what I was doing. You know what I mean?
I felt like I knew where I was going.
I did say probably.
I gained a lot of wisdom from people, but I was never discouraged with, because it's when you think about it, like, you should never start over from zero. Like, you always have something that you can build on. And I subscribe to that heavily. I was just like, I can't start over. I gotta just build off of what I got and gain influence and wisdom from the guys around me. And that's really what I did.
Right.
So my stuff was always changing and kind of, instead of doing this now, I want to go with this now. You know, and it's still doing that. I'm definitely not at any sort of finish line. You know what I mean? It's still just like, all right, try that, or
Never stop learning.
that looks cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to.
Like, have a website? Do you sell commissions online?
I don't sell much online. The great thing about my job in animation is like I said, we make a decent living. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so selling stuff online just becomes like, oh god, tedious to like so much to do. But I do sell my books online. If people hit me up on my Instagram, which is Chris Copeland Art, and Instagram or whatever. Also Chris Copeland Art on Tumblr.
And do you have a certain technique that you like go into your art with? or it's different for each character?
It's pretty similar for each character in the sense that like I'm super careful. I'm not confident with traditional medium. Pencils and pens intimidate me. So I generally go into them very soft-footed, very timidly. Like a lot of artists, man, they're so confident in their inking techniques. Ryan Otley, who's artist on Invincible, like I've seen that guy's pencils, and it's like it's not even a completed figure because he'll go in with his inks and just clarify everything. And I'm like, yo, that shit is amazing to me. You know what I mean? Like it's just amazing because I'm so like, oh God, like. When I'm I'm the ballsiest dude on the planet when I'm drawing on a computer. You know what I mean? I'm just like, wow, you know.
Hit that back button.
Dude, it's like, you try stuff and new layer, you know, try it again, new layer. There it is, you know. With this stuff, it's like, and that's why I construct mine the way that I do with my pencils and, you know, I make sure that like my pencils are at a place where I'm like, okay, I'm directed. I know where I'm gonna go with my inks. I don't know what I was talking about before.
I think it was about kids.
I love kids, man. I have a problem. I love my kids so much. I see all these kids around here, and I'm just like...
I got a little girl myself, so I know.
Oh, you get it.
Yeah.
You get it. How old is she?
Changing my life. She's 7.
Oh, man. Little lady.
Yeah.
They're the best, man.
She wanted to see that Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
We couldn't take her.
Come on, baby. Come on. Yeah, my 8-year-old, my little boy, he saw the advertising. He was like, I'm not going to be able to see that, am I? And I was like, no, you're not. All right. So, but that's the other thing. Like, I feel like we can make content for the kids.
Yeah.
That's also exciting, you know, and cool. You know what I mean?
You get a chance to see it yet?
Not yet.
No?
I was going to try to do it last night, but I went pretty executive with my room. So once I got in there, I was like, yeah, I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
I ordered Creed.
How's that?
Oh my God, man.
Yeah?
Dude, Ryan Coogler, man, director. That brother is...
He's doing Black Panther, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a couple of shots, and me being a director and storyboard artist myself, everything I look at, I'm like,
could have done that better.
Yeah. Just different.
Right,
different.
right.
There's some directors in our industry that I call them the other option directors, and you storyboard something for them, and they come back behind you and they go, oh, change this, change that, change that. It's to little effect. It's just the other option. And I'm like, there's multiple options.
Right, right.
They're not bad. It's just they're different. And so there were a couple of things I was like, I would have done that different, but that dude is a champ, man. Like, he gets it. He understands story. He understands character.
Yeah.
I love the movie. I think everybody should see it. It's just a great movie.